Good evening, epic gamers. Trove needs your help. Just kidding, I do. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Scythe, and we are back against more Trove to Trove. And today we're reviewing a PTS patch notes. Yes, that's right. So, this being on the test server does obviously mean that there are going to be some bugs, and oh my goodness gracious, there are some game-breaking ones with this update, which is quite hilarious because this update is focusing on Bomber Royale Season 2. Now, a little bit of Trove trivia for you guys is that Bomber Royale Season 2 was originally planned to release with the U10 update as well as Gardening 2.0. Gardening 2.0, near as we could tell, was going to end up redefining the gardening and making a lot of the otherwise very inaccessible resources for free-to-play players suddenly become that much easier to end up getting. But we're not going to talk too much about gardening because there wasn't really that much revealed, and Bomber Royale is pretty much exactly what they ended up showing a couple months back. So the thing is that with Bomber Season 2, we have access to a bunch of new items. We also have access to a couple new maps, but the trade-off, which is really weird, is that you can only play on these new maps. You can't play any of the previous Bomber Royale maps. And before we end up getting into the patch notes themselves, I don't know whether or not this patch is going to be showing up next Tuesday. I don't think that it is. I think that this update is planned for a little later in the month, maybe on the third week or something. We'll see. Because next week for the live server is supposed to be the Shamrock Surprise event or something like that, which is supposed to be the St. Paddy's Day event in-game that apparently is going to tease what Gardening 2.0 is going to be. So I guess they're slowly putting on the final touches and stuff like that. But you gotta remember that before all the layoffs of trying worlds and everything like that, they had a lot more people working on these updates, so that's why they're a lot slower. So anyways, Bomber Royale Season 2 has one really good map and one really bad map. It also breaks the portals. Not that anybody uses these anyways, except for me, because I always like using the one that's in my club world. But you're going to have to use the shortcut command that's right behind my face cam. Control B on PC. Don't know what the command is for consoles, but you're going to use that in order to enter Bomber Royale and actually see other people. That said, right now we're on the test server, so it's very difficult to end up finding a group of people in order to actually do this. Now, the other thing too that the game ends up adding is it added duos, which is really interesting. See, this is Dead Town. This is the bad map, by the way. I have footage of the other map, so I'll insert some footage of that and show you guys what that's about. I ended up getting around going with a stream, and it was pretty cool. I actually really enjoy that map. It's got a lot of verticality, a lot of hidden passages and walls that you can end up blasting through, and not to mention it has a pagoda, so it generally just reminds me of Team Pixel. But either way, it's an absolutely awesome map, player made, which is the big difference, and why I think that geode map kind of sucks is because the developers made it, and that map's bad. Because it's got like spires where you can just camp out at the top. It doesn't really seem to have that many secret underground areas and stuff. It's strange because, I mean, also it's just the geode topside. Nobody likes the aesthetic of the geode topside. It looks disgusting. Like, I like the original Bomber maps, and I don't know why they're taking those out of rotation just for the sake of adding these two new ones, especially considering that there are a lot of other maps that we could have in Bomber Royale instead of just this, but whatever, I guess that's okay. So they have duos apparently now, so you can compete up against 9 teams of 2 players. And the team with the last number standing wins. So I've heard that this is a little bit finicky, but it does end up working. The way that you end up doing that is you have to go from your friends list, which means that I can't really do it because otherwise I crash if I have my friends list open for too long. But you're going to click the bomb button to invite your friend or to join them in the middle of their bomber match, and then you can end up playing through duos. So I guess that's pretty cool. The fact that you can end up playing through teams, that's probably why there's not really anybody in the main public area. But even to do that, you would have to have 9 teams of 2 people each. Like, that's pretty crazy. I would only be able to get that many people if I was doing a stream and really forcing you guys to do it, because I love Bomber Royale. I really do. It's not the most popular as far as Trove is concerned, but I really enjoy it. So anyways, then there's going to be new Royale rewards. So Bomber Royale now gives you Season 2 tokens. And then this merchant itself is going to end up having a whole new stock of Season 2 exclusive items, including a couple items that are just... These are just PvP items. Converted over to Bomber Royale. For those of you that don't know and are brand new to Trove, Trove actually had PvP and Capture the Flag back in the day. You still can access it in Club Worlds, but they just completely abandoned it. All their hard work was just thrown to the side for some reason, so that they could force in this Bomber Royale, which Bomber Royale is a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, but that to me is just one step forward, two steps back, man. You know, they spent a lot of time and effort working on the PvP and the Capture the Flag, even though it was not balanced at all, Ice Age OP, but still, it was a lot of fun. You know, like, I actually really like PvP and still play it from time to time. But anyways, that's where you normally got all these items, and that's where this little tab right here was from. I don't know if we get this XP from Bomber Royale yet. They mentioned something like that in a patch, but I honestly don't really remember. But anyways, so there's going to be all sorts of new things that you can get out of this guy, including this is actually a new dragon egg. The dragon we have actually seen before. It's basically a jet dragon, again, that kind of has these types of colors, like the black and the red and stuff, and it looks like a Bomber Royale dragon. It ends up shooting Bomber Royale sticky bombs, or maybe it's not sticky bombs, maybe it's just the normal bombs. And the reason why this is cool and relevant is because there's going to end up being a new store pack right here, which is Bomber Styles. So this is, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show you guys this, and it's pretty underwhelming, all things considered. You're going to end up getting mastery out of this, which is disgusting. They also should not show this explosive effect behind it, I think, I know that they're trying to make this look a little bit fancier, but I can confirm that the bomb skins are going to end up changing the way that your bombs look in Bomber Royale, but they are not going to end up changing the explosions. For some reason, the developers seem to think that this would end up changing, people wouldn't know what bombs are what, which I can totally understand that, but if they ended up designing the bombs a little bit better to be a little bit more obvious, then this could end up alleviating that, which, I mean, generally this is going to end up, like, the visuals of the bomb, I would say, are way more important to know what the threat level is than the explosive effect. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would actually rather have explosive effect skins rather than something like this. But anyways, it's going to end up being a new style tab right here, Bomber Royale Styles. So you can end up using these to end up changing your sticky bombs and your rubber bombs. And incidentally, whichever bombs the dragon ends up using, these will actually affect the cannonball that he ends up shooting out when you end up actually using the dragon's explosive fire breath thing, right? So that's pretty cool. And the description for a lot of these are actually hilarious. I love the Howlog bomb just goes, ah! Like, it's hilarious. The Howlog bomb actually looks disgusting, though. And again, I'm not going to be able to get footage of all of these because I can't get into Bomber Royale to save my life. So then there's also going to end up being the Painted Javelina, which as far as I know is actually a giant warthog reskin. The mental minefield is going to end up being a bunch of Bomber Royale bombs just floating around your head in an aura style. The cherry bomb burst, I'm not exactly sure what this one is. If I'm not mistaken, it's just an explosive effect that's just over your character. Booming brainstorm as well, I'm assuming is going to be the same thing. I'm pretty sure we've seen these in the game's code, I just forget. And then the short fuse I know is just a fuse that's just sitting at the top of your character's head. Now, to get Bomber Royale Season 1 tokens, you actually have to buy them right here. And for some reason, like, I hate this decision. I strongly disagree with it and think that it's absolutely stupid. It's a 2-by-1 ratio. So it takes 2 Season 2 tokens to get 1 Season 1 token. Which doesn't make any sense because if we go to the Season 1 tab, it's not like any of this stuff got any cheaper. So that means that in order to get the Twin Plague Dragon, normally, let's just say the absolute roughest Bomber Royale you could do. You're just doing Bomber Royale, you get 1 token per game. That's 300 games just to end up getting this dragon. Or, now that it's got this dumb exchange rate, that's 600 games in order to get this stupid dragon. Now suddenly this dragon doesn't seem worthwhile, now does it? Because it's not like they've given us more tokens or anything like that. They just increased the value of them, and I don't know why. I really don't. Like, that's absolutely stupid. Devs, if you're watching, please just change this to a 1-by-1 ratio. There is literally no reason not to have it as a 1-by-1 ratio. So anyways, then there's going to be a new legendary tome. So this is going to give you Season 2 tokens. Yes, the Season 1 token tome is still in the game. So I guess cool. But the Season 1 bomb thing only gives you 5 per week. They should really buff that if they're going to end up changing this exchange rate. I think that this bomb token tome thing should be... I think it should just be 50, honestly. Like, that's already a couple weeks worth of grinding just for the Twin Plague Dragon. Because all we can really consider with Trove is time-gated content anyways, right? It shouldn't be content that you have to grind for 1 billion hours. It should just be something that is just a set time limit at this point, because that's pretty much what Bomber is. So then there's going to be the Season 2 box. Apparently this is not too bad, because this is also another method that is going to end up rarely containing all of the items from Season 1, including the Twin Plague Dragon Egg, so I guess you could take the risk. I would honestly say that it's probably better to go for the box. I would say that, except we know Trove. Trove is too RNG based. It is always 100% without a doubt better to just buy the item outright than it is to end up messing with any of the loot crates, just because they always get the numbers wrong with the loot crates. Like, they're just very, very brutal. Obviously, somebody is going to end up opening these and getting the Twin Plague Dragon right away, but you can't consider that person the average player that just got really lucky, right? And then otherwise, that's pretty much it. And then it's just repeating things, a bunch of banners that I don't even know why they sell those. But then, yeah, so then they mentioned in the store, there's going to end up being the new pack. They added Bomber Royale coin boosts to the More tab of the store as well. So let's see. I don't think these are visually... Yeah, these aren't in the PTS for some dumb reason. I don't know why. But these boosts will double all Bomber Royale coins. Both Season 1 and Season 2. I don't know what they mean by both Season 1 and Season 2. I guess because you could use your Legendary Tome and you would get 10 instead from most sources until 50, 100, or 250. They seem to really enjoy this whole coin boost thing. Like, they've been doing it with, these Dragon coin boosts as well. Which I don't know if these are very popular. Somebody let me know in the comments. Are these good? Do you guys actually use these? Because I think these are trash. Like, I guess technically it's just cutting your time in half. But it's weird that this is their solution to the really badly balanced like items and stuff, is to have a cash shop solution, obviously, that still requires you to grind it out, but you're just gonna get double the amount. So I guess for Bomber Royale, that's not as bad. You know, I would actually say that that's more valuable than the dragon coins, just because you're going to be able to get the dragon eggs themselves, and that's just going to be a golden egg. You can actually trade this with other people. So outright, that is going to be an easier way of getting a dragon than buying the dragon coin packs or whatever, right? So anyways, they swapped new deals tab so that the deals are always the first tab that's going to show up. Clarified the double dragon pack description. They've added a couple new dungeons. So there's going to be 3 for new Luminopolis, a desert dungeon, Neon City, and a new Peaceful Hills Sunflower dungeon. So we haven't actually had one of those added since like the alpha of the game. So I'm interested to see what that thing looks like. So additional updates, they ended up changing a couple things. So the Twin Plague Dragon Egg has had its the dragon itself added to the legendary category of dragons and can now be obtained from a golden dragon effigy. So I guess never mind all my complaints. If you're a cash shop player, you can just get this dragon out of dragon effigies. So that's not too bad. But a free-to-play player is still going to end up dealing with the problems that I was mentioning previously. Spiders and Shadow Towers. This one's hilarious. Spiders and Shadow Towers, Neon City, Permafrost, and other areas can now rarely drop spider dragon fragments. That's why that dragon was so hard to farm. Because for some reason, one of the devs didn't get the memo to actually make the dragon fragments drop from spiders out in the other biomes. Like, are you kidding me? So which ones actually were dropping the spinner dragon fragments then? Huh? Because now suddenly this dragon should be, I mean, he's not gonna be easy, but he should be a lot better and a lot easier to attain. Like, come on. That is ridiculous, dude. So then they ended up changing a couple of the dragons. Where is it? Yorin? There we go. Apparently they ended up giving this guy new gliding video effects. So we've got these little sparkles coming behind us, which look pretty cool. I guess it's just because these are kind of pay-to-win pack dragons. I mean, you can get them out of the store just easy enough. But and then Zahadin also ended up getting video effects, which is weird, but very cool. What did he end up getting? Oh, he got the exact same video effects, just reskinned to actually look like sparks of fire. I guess that's cool. I mean, you know, where's the new elemental dragon? That's what I'm saying. Like, where is that? That's not in this update. So the tomes that can be crafted from rune crafting have been redistributed. So this is actually a really welcome change. It means that new players are going to be able to access a lot of the tomes without having to be completely maxed out in their rune crafting. So hopefully the distribution of them is actually pretty okay. Unfortunately, I don't really have a very good... let me see, is it the Jub Club? I don't really have a good club on the PTS because some jerk ended up stealing Team Pixel a long time ago, and I don't own any big clubs on PTS at all, especially because it's PTS, so who cares? Where's the rune crafting table, man? Where is this? There it is. So they've changed it so that, okay, Glim Tome, Flux Tome, yeah, that rightly so should be at the beginning. It gives you trash. And then a couple of these. Yeah, that's pretty good. Even the Infinium being this early on, because these are recurring tomes, not legendary tomes, so you can just grind them over and over. That's pretty good. Cybernetics Tome, they know that this is one of the most valuable, which is hilarious. And then they put Cinnabar at the end, even though Cinnabar is not the most valuable. I mean, it's one of the most valuable resources in terms of a lot of things cost it to craft, but not nearly as much as the Cybernetics, dude. Like, that's just okay, guys. So the Kill 10 Luminopolis enemy outpost adventure no longer counts invaders or other creatures that don't normally spawn from that biome. Outpost NPCs in Luminopolis and Geotopside can no longer be affected by bounce blocks. I thought that they fixed that a long time ago, but I guess they didn't. They're trying to fix that whole 10k questing thing that people have been doing, which apparently you can get banned for, so be careful if people invite you to one of those guys. Geotopside enemies will now have dropped trophies. That's really cool. And then this is a little bit late rather than, I mean, I guess better late than never, except in this case, nobody cares. Reduce Geode Cave turret damage by 25% and reduce the fire rate by 50%. So that should make the Geode Caves a little more tolerable, except nobody goes there anyways. The Geode quest line items that are required in order to complete will no longer be able to be trashed, because you could actually delete those items apparently, which is hilarious. Are they going to give items back to all the people that ended up deleting them? I don't know. The Geode quest line, I just read that. Change the gem box provided from the gem expertise quest line that you're going to be starting at the beginning of the game. As requested by players, they also added a timestamp for chat messages. The timestamp is disabled by default and, of course, doesn't actually have an option to change it. You have to type, this is one word, by the way, /set chat timestamp, and then press enter, and that's going to end up turning on the timestamp. Hilarious. Like, just put it in the normal options, devs. There's too many secret commands that people have to try and remember. It's ridiculous. And then this is probably the best change of the entire update. Binding Darkness can now drop from all monsters in Shadow Towers, not just monsters with specific affixes. It still does not drop from monsters spawned from Cursed Skulls or monsters spawned by other monsters. Good. Because Binding Darkness sucks to farm. I'm one of those people. I never get it. Ever get it as a drop, dude. It always sucked because certain enemies would not drop it outright, even though they were still elite mobs. But now all enemies in Shadow Towers can drop it, so that should end up augmenting our gems way, way easier. I'm really, really happy that they're making changes towards the gem system in general, making it's still very grindy, but it's a lot less grindy. It's way more approachable for players, which is always a good thing because Trove needs to be a lot more approachable to players because otherwise there's way too much cash up in the way. So we only got a couple more changes here, guys. So they fixed an issue that could cause one specific Uber level in Shadow Towers to drop 3 Binding Darkness instead of 1. I wish I knew which one that was. That probably explains why other people got tons of Binding Darkness and I always only got them like one at a time. Adjusted icons for Feywild and Neon City biomes. Alright, apparently these are changed on the map to be a little bit more visually obvious, which I didn't think that they had a problem with that to begin with, but I guess we'll check it out. So here's the Feywilds, which I guess, yeah, that's a little bit more obvious, I'm sure. And then what about the Luminopolis and Neon City? Then they also, Dragon Coin boost claims are now more informative, and tooltips now correctly explain the Bomber Royale abilities, which I'm guessing is just when you get into the loading screen of Bomber Royale or something. Okay, yeah, that's slightly more obvious, I guess. The reason why these biomes have these icons in the first place, guys, not only is just because of people with color coding, like actually colorblind, which I generally think that it's actually really nice that they have these too. It looks really ugly, but it's nice just because you can very easily tell which biome is what. And that pretty much covers it. Again, there is a lot of bugs with this update. It is the test server, so here's hoping they iron it all out before it goes to the live server, because the fact that it's almost impossible to actually play a round of Bomber Royale is what's ridiculous. Because if this goes to the live server, and there's no way to actually play Bomber Royale with other people, I mean, there seems to also generally be 2 lobbies now, so we're stuck in this one that's related to this dumb geode map, while other people are probably in the other lobby that's got to do with the other map. So I don't know how the join system works. I haven't gotten to mess with that too much, guys. You know, most of all, I want to mess with that when it's on the live server, because on the test server, it doesn't really matter so much. But either way, thanks for watching. Very much appreciate it. Don't forget to like, sub, hit that notification bell. And if you want to support me, you can always sponsor the YouTube channel, buy some of the real life merch, or there is a link in the description where if you sign up a new Trove account and then you buy anything out of the store, I will end up making a percentage of that purchase. So it doesn't end up increasing the price of anything that you buy in the store. It just helps me out. Another quick trick, easy option that you can end up doing is starting a new account specifically to buy items and then just exchanging most of those items onto your main account. Whether you end up buying credit pouches, you sell them, and then you trade the flux back to your main account, or whatever. I mean, you don't gotta do it. I'm just saying that it's a quick little trick in a way that you can help me out while still just playing the game, rather than any of the other support links where you basically just have to take money out of your own paycheck. Except for Gawkbox. That is a way that you can donate to me for absolutely free by playing a bunch of phone games that it tells you, play this phone game for 5 minutes, you'll make $5, and then you can send it my way. Either way, thanks for watching regardless, folks. Sign on and stay epic.